Hi, I'm Pharaoh, and today I'm going to go into my 12th hour, as I was just saying, of my challenge, my class challenge. I have got to A class, but I haven't progressed my. Let's have a look what my exosuit is like. I know it's not ready to go up higher yet. I've been having some problems the last couple of days with my Steam controller not always connecting. There we go. So hang on, why is... I know what it is. Let's not do that. Let me just turn my Steam controller off and wait for it to disconnect properly, and then I'll turn it back on again. It seems to not connect to the game sometimes. I don't know if they've changed something on Steam and it needs an update soon, but something odd is going on. It's only been happening the last week. Now it's not saying it's connected. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let me see. Can you at least hear me? Let's go to a different scene. Hang on. Okay. What about then? Could you hear Cleo? I was I was making a recording in my just chatting mode, and I think I might have messed something up on it. Actually, no, it's still not happy. Let's see if I can go into settings. Let me dip here.
Axon Ignition says, Cleo's on strike. She's protesting the lack of emoji. Axon Ignition says, okay, I can hear her, but you are muted now. Axon Ignition says, game sound is there.
Yep. Game sound. You should be hearing me now as well. Yep, that should be fine. If there's any of those three things you can't hear, then let me know.
Axon Ignition says, I can hear you. Yes.
Still not got my controller connected though. Let's go into the controller settings a second.
Axon Ignition says, and Cleo too. All clear. Brian 9772 says, all is good in the cosmos.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Hello, Brian. Right, I'm going to shut the game down because it's obviously not responding properly. I love teething troubles like this at the beginning of a stream. It's always the best way to start, isn't it? So I can't even do that. Right, exit Steam completely. Go back into Steam. Yeah, so while this is reloading and I find out if I can actually get the controller working. the discussion at halfway, about an hour in rather, is going to be, what do we want if Cosmos is going to be a space game? What do we want? You don't have to answer that yet. I'd rather we talked about it properly in about an hour's time. But have a think about that before we get to it. What actually would you want to see about space in your space game? But yeah, we'll get to that in good time. It looks like my controller is now doing something, which is good to see. Don't quite know what it is. There we go. Much better.
Ignition says, "Hello Brian 9772."
So I think we finished off. I was just in my freighter. So I now have 2 containers. And what I'd probably usually do is kind of tidy the containers. But at the moment I have plenty of spare space there. So it's probably more about making sure I've got things in the right places. I'll keep those in here for now. Activated Indium. I could sort that out later. That can go in storage. Suspicious arms. It's an X class. We can't use that. I'll have to sell it. Pugnium I probably want to hold on to in my exosuit. And I suppose I can also use my freighter storage, can't I? So put that in freighter storage. So how many slots have I got here? I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 71. So I need another 9 slots there to get to the next class. Grab a bit of carbon. The thing I haven't got at the moment, I think one of the last things I was realizing last time, is I don't have any sodium, and I don't have a sodium strategy. So I just kind of have been using like the sodium loop to get sodium, i.e. putting oxygen and sodium together, which is, it's a viable way, but it only ekes it out. It doesn't keep it going forever. So I probably want to get a source of sodium. So what I might do next is see, turn all of that into sodium and then some back into, what I want to do next is see if any of the planets in this system have got sodium as a resource that I can go and find. And that doesn't look very healthy, does it? It looks like it's all messed up. Okay, is this the system we're in? Probably is. Yes, it's because it was discovered by somebody else. It was the bottom. Always throws me when it doesn't actually come up with a list. Right, so there we are, and we don't have it there, and we don't have it there. So we're probably going to have to go and find some. Have I got enough to be making a little bit of fuel to use my freighter to go and at least make a little bit of fuel? That way I can immediately look for planets. Someone was saying the other day that you don't have the view of the planets in the galaxy map if you're playing VR. That seems a little bit mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1 moons. Yep, so we'll go there. Got the best chance. I think it was in one of the small things I would punch the air about if I saw it in the patch notes. They were saying they'd love to see that in VR. Where am I? We're over here. Look for the green. Should maybe have this closer to the entrance as well, so I'm not having to run all the way in here. Sodium, that's got sodium. It's a torrid planet, but I'm sure it'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, I can mark it, can't I? So we're in a new system, so we should also get the slot. Still in the Merchants Guild area. Seem to have been nearly every time I've gone somewhere I've been in the Merchants Guild area. I don't really want Starship launch fuel anyway, so there's no point redeeming anything. Apart from maybe gaining some rep with them, I guess. B. C. Add that to my stack because I wouldn't mind a hypercore. I think I only have a couple. Why am I looking in my inventory for that? Yeah, I got 2 of them.
Axon Ignition says, I always seem to find the merchants more than the other guilds.
Yeah, it's not my experience. I'm actually surprised I'm only coming across merchants. B, life support, underwater protection. That might be an idea. Don't know if I've got the slots yet. I know. Let's get the slot from the anomaly. Because I've also not got enough modules yet at B class to progress. So as a reminder, let's just put the... Go back to just chatting and we'll see if I can get the sound working on that as well. So, can you hear me is the most important thing. Can you hear the game is the second most important thing. And can you hear chat? Somebody say something while I'm landing in the anomaly. And I'll pull up the rules. So, to get to A, I need 8 B class modules.
Can hear you and the game.
And we need 80 exosuit cargo slots. B-class multi-tool and starship, which we already have.
Axon Ignition says. And Clio 2.
Cool, at least we fixed that. I'll come out of just chatting in a second. Right, so I want to give myself a slot in my exosuit. Technology.
Alphas 195 says. Hi Pharaoh Euclid.
Hi Alphas, good to see you. And then I can put that in there.
Alphas 195 says. Evening Axon Ignition.
Don't have the blueprint yet. I'm going to have to get another one of those, I'm guessing.
Axon Ignition says. Good evening Alphas 195. How it goes into the Pharaoh challenge.
Oh yes, you were doing it, weren't you? You killed one, but you said you were going to start again. Right. And it's not the Pharaoh challenge, it's the class challenge. So I've marked it, haven't I? Is it still left marked? It should be. There it is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little tiny base with an autonomous mining unit on it.
5 says. Not much progress Axon Ignition being busy with other things.
I was actually surprised I only got 12 hours in, or 11 and a bit hours in.
5 says. Hope to make some substantial progress in the weekend. Axon Ignition says. Graves told me he's on run number 5. Rules are rules. He scraped 4 runs.
He managed to complete his one. Examine cargo manifest. Okay, let's have a look, see what we've got. Buy some selenium, not much of it. Buy some frost crystal, not much of it.
Axon Ignition says. Oh he did, go Graph.
Yeah, because we were debating
Alphas 195.
the rules.
He got to the center.
He got to the centre, yeah. We were debating the rules afterwards because he said he had pre-purchased the some of the modules, which the rules don't say you can't pre-purchase. But I kind of implied in the rules that you can't
Axon Ignition said.
pre-purchase, so it's a.
Found a red squid and wants to get to the center in style.
Yeah, I know he got a I know he got an exotic, but he got to the center. He's finished it, and I say it's a valid one because I didn't specifically say you couldn't use buy modules. I just didn't ever even consider that people would pre-buy modules. Right, so I'm looking for sodium, aren't I? That's sodium. It's a very small deposit, but that looks like a deposit and isn't anything. Oh, that's just not showing up, that one. Why is that one not showing up? That's phosphorus. Bit of a bug there. I don't like it when you get too near each other because sometimes they interfere with each other. Right, can I build an autonomous mining unit already? I need metal plating. I thought I had some metal plating on me. I've got one.
Axon Ignition says, does nobody buy 2 stacks of 20 metal plating?
I thought I did buy a load at one point.
So portals are completely off limits, correct?
Portals are off limits, that's right, yeah. So that does mean that if you're not travelling towards the centre as you go along and making an effort as you're progressing, then it does mean the end can be a little bit boring because you're just going bang, 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 jump, 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 jump. Hopefully with loads of fuel ready. So that takes a bit of planning.
Alphas 195 says, so Graf warped all the way.
Basically. Right, so, I mean, you are allowed to use black holes. Right, while I'm here, I'll just get some sodium. It's another hot day here. I'm already feeling the heat, so whether I'll be able to bear sitting in a hot room with a hot computer for 3 hours, I'm not sure. So it might be a slightly shorter stream depending on the stamina I have for this temperature. I say hot, I mean it's 30, so for England it's pretty hot. And it's possibly going to go up to about 32 here.
Axon Ignition says, oh yes, London is hotter than Delhi today. And where Pharaoh stays, it's the same as Delhi. Alphas 195 says, my house is always chilled. Have to keep the aircon going most of the day.
Yeah, but we don't really have a tradition of aircon in the UK. And we'd be mad to really get aircon because apart from this year, you'd only really need it about 3 or 4 days a year. But this year's been exceptional. Right. I'm going to pick up whatever sodium's already available.
Axon
Which
Ignition
isn't
says,
much.
do you need a heater in winter? Alphas 195.
No, I haven't got the metal plating to make it.
Consider buying it. Pharaoh, have you heard the global weather is gonna be crazy from this year on?
It's quite possible. We'll see.
Alphas 195 says, Axon Ignition love.
Right, so put that in there. Get a bit of carbon.
Alphas 195 says, temp doesn't drop below 7 degrees. Axon Ignition says, sort your inventory.
I suppose I mean, I'm so used to never sorting by type or color or anything. I just usually do it manually, but I guess I can just do that. Let's see what these pirates have got. How many are there? Just the one? 2. Did I just hit the... No. I think I just hit that other ship, didn't I? No, I hit the space station. It must have been just inside the radius of what counts as a space station being hit. I'm not going to buy too many because I think I might have some in my freighter. Let's have a look. Oh, I keep doing that by mistake today. No, I don't. I must have just been using it up. Door slams because of the breeze. I might have to wedge that open. Right, so I have got tens enough. So I want to go to the sodium base. Set up actually first of all I'm going to just double check that that hasn't got corrupted with the phosphorus nearby. No, so that's okay at the moment. Did it use up all my fuel? 14%. I don't think that's enough to jump, but we'll just double check. Maybe it is just. No. That's a bit better. This is going to be much less wasteful of fuel at the moment. Oh, I'm not as far as I could be, am I? So let's go to my furthest point. I'd like to at least nominally feel like I'm getting towards the centre, even if it's only a few jumps here and there. Space stations, BHD3 I think was the furthest.
Axel Ignition says, since the goal is to keep moving, why not mine using the terrain manip?
because I can always pop back to my base. I mean, just because I'm keeping moving doesn't mean I'm not using bases. This one was mercenary. It might be a little bit more. I've already done all of the pirate. But it means if I stay in this region, I might be able to... I think I've got a few more pirate transponders to hand over. Yep. So region is Oyenif cluster. Is that in this region? Yes. Oh, I didn't pay attention to what type of station it was. It's outlaw. Never mind, we can get a few things in there, including the exosuit. We just open that door again because it's really starting to warm up in here.
Alphas 195 says, buy stuff for donating to the Merchants Guild.
Tangled up now. Hi Sam Vimes, good to see you.
Axon Ignition says, everyone's loves the Merchants Guild. Hello Sam.
Right, so I'm going to get all the tritium.
Alphas 195 says, ahoy Sam Vimes 9258. Sam
I might buy a couple of repair kits.
Says, working and lurking.
Always a good way. Get both of those. Probably I'm going to need some nanites, so maybe we'll just... Did I say you could or couldn't do this in the rules? Does anybody want to check whether you can just get modules? I usually consider it a bit of an exploit.
Brian 9772 says, I think you talked about it with Grav and said it was allowed.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm not sure if I can get a hydrothermic fuel cell without learning it. That might not be a very sensible thing to have.
Alphas 195 says, I recall that conversation as well.
I think I said that I probably wouldn't do it, and there I am thinking, shall I do it? I bought some, and then I'm thinking, should I be doing this? Right, I need some gold and silver at some point. I think I've got that in my freighter.
Samvimes 9258 says,
I'll sell that.
nothing from Sean about the update.
Nope.
Ignition says, no cheating.
Axel Ignition shouted, no cheating. I should have a little piece of regex rule that says if somebody uses all caps, it says shouts rather than says. Nothing else in here I really want to do.
Axel Ignition says, no cheating. Alphas195 says, radio silence so far. If any emojis drops, it will be over the weekend.
Well, I don't know. I mean, based on the other day when we were just starting a discussion.
195 says, Axon Ignition is the local enforcer.
Considering we were just starting a discussion about weren't we expecting something from Sean over the anniversary? Why did he not even drop a message except for on Instagram potentially? And then we just started that conversation in my stream, and he dropped a trailer, a teaser trailer. So you never know. Keep an eye out right now. He's probably tweeting as we speak.
Brian 9772 says, so you're saying if we talk about it, it will happen faster. 9258 says, that's why I asked. Emoji in 3, 2 LOL. Axel Ignition says, tubers are speculating about the emoji, and it's probably Alphas195 says,
No, we've
stream.
already had that.
That Captain Steve caused it.
We've already had the crystal ball. It was never tweeted, but if you saw my video I posted yesterday, and we showed the list of the things that he retroactively assigned, he assigned one to I can't remember which one, but he assigned one to that.
You missed absolute pandemonium. Alphas195. It was peak excitement.
He's Captain Steve Sword. Yeah, he secretly works for Hello Games, and he pulled the trigger as soon as he heard us talking about it. I somehow suspect if he worked for Hello Games, he wouldn't be able to keep a secret. He doesn't come across as a secret keeper. Whereas me, on the other hand, well, I could. You never know. Although I will tell you now, I don't. We did have suspicions about one, I won't even say who now. We did have suspicions at one point about one particular streamer who used to stream on YouTube occasionally, but moved on to Twitch more regularly. Wondered if they were actually an alpha tester. I say I had suspicions. I'm not sure if anybody else agreed with me.
Ignition says, I've signed a
That happened on a film podcast a couple of years back when someone said they said, are you in such and such a film? Said I couldn't even comment on that. I've signed an NDA. So you are then. Have a quick look. That's not bad. We haven't got 2 slots, so we don't know where the other slots are. It'd be nice to get something where I can actually see all the slots. B. I wonder if I found a large rifle in this cabinet. Maybe it's worth going to the other other planets.
Ignition says, if they hired me, the first change would be 1. The number of Sentinel quads goes up every alert level. 2. The Sentinels never stop chasing you.
Why would you not want the Sentinels to stop chasing? And that seems overly mean. I mean, we do get that occasionally happen, don't we? There's a bug where it just doesn't ever stop chasing you. It never times out even when you're miles away from them. I've even had it where I got onto my freighter and it still had an alert level. I reported that one to HG, but I don't think it's happened recently.
Axon Ignition says, oh, once I got chased all over a planet for 30 minutes.
You have to be able to get away with them, I think. Or are you suggesting that you have to beat them? If you start fighting them, you have to beat them. Because that would be really, really cruel for someone that was on their first planet or something.
Alphas195 says, it bleeped out GOD.
Did it? Well, it's blasphemy, isn't it?
Alphas195 says, Robot Lady isn't taking any chances.
No, I mean, let's face it, she is a pagan.
Axon Ignition says, nah, my suggestions were more tongue-in-cheek.
Fair enough. I was just trying to work out the practicalities of it if you actually did have such a situation. I mean, there would be nothing wrong with some form of escalation. If you keep angering the Sentinels, it gets even worse each time beyond a certain point in the game. Yeah, I've got gold and silver, but not that much. I might need to burn some stuff. I think I've probably got enough for this. Right, so I currently have 1 significant upgrade, 2 significant upgrade, 3 significant upgrade, 4. That's not an upgrade. Oh, it is. It's 5. So they're all modules. So they all count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what did I need? 8, wasn't it?
Alphas195 says, going into lurk mode now.
8.
Evening walks to get done. See y'all in 90 minutes.
Have a good walk.
9772 says, feature request, your character starts appearing on wanted posters on the space station.
That would be quite nice. Especially if it popped up in multiplayer.
Axon Ignition says, oh, that would be really fun. Bounty Hunters after you, Brian 9772.
Oh, it's pinned the pressure membrane.
Brian
Don't want that.
9772 says, Bounty Hunters would be a fun addition.
As long as they were NPCs, I think. I mean, if they really, really wanted to work out PvP properly, they would have to do a lot of work, and I can't see them doing it. I can't see them doing the requisite work. Let's...
Axon Ignition says, I always thought Null would be the final boss fight.
That's too far away. Where's the one for this? Can't be all the way over there. Well, what are we in? We're in... oh, that might be it. It could be all the way over here. Nope. So we're in Making Mass. Yep, there it is. I might spend a little bit of time in this system getting a few extra slots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. So if I got maybe replace both of those movement modules, then I would have that down. Have you got a mere B? No, you haven't. But I could be doing that. Oh, didn't look at the multi-tools.
Axon Ignition says, it was a bit disappointing to learn that LNF is next year.
Did they specifically say next year? Or are you going by what everybody's saying? Did he actually? Has anybody actually said that it's definitely next year?
Axon Ignition says, no, I got that from your video.
Ah, so well, I haven't I haven't got any inside knowledge. I mean, I think it's most likely next year. At this stage, I don't think it would be wise for them to put all of their eggs in a new game and the success of a new game, because pretty much if they don't make a success of the new game, they're going to have to bring other stuff out to to keep their finances ticking over. So I don't think it would be wise to put that much hope in a game and kind of release it really quickly. I think you need to kind of set a date when you're going to be doing it, etc.
Are most games successful these days?
No, I don't think they are. I don't think most games have ever been successful in the whole history of gaming. Maybe in the very early days of the ZX Spectrum in the UK, when people just seemed to be able to knock stuff up in their bedroom and make a fortune. Right, I know I'm not allowed to use this terminal, but I'm going to... Actually, I'll quickly look here. Let's see. But I'm going to have a quick look to see how far down that amino chamber is. So, not amino chamber, hydrothermal fuel. So all I would need to do is find one factory to get the hydrothermal fuel. That might be worth it. Of course, I'd have to also answer the question. But I'm going down to a plan anyway to try and get some more slots. Kill a few creatures at the same time. What's your random map? Oh, it happens to be the right one. Excellent. Where's that? I'm never very good at remembering by colour. Secure. Yeah, secure. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Do I just need 3? Or do I just need 2? Let's all kill sentinels.
Axon Ignition says, with the hype around LNF, won't it be a win on day one? All NMS players will get it.
I don't think people do that as much these days. Oh, hang on, is that? I think there's a general reluctance to say pre-order games or to buy games on day one these days. So I would like to think it would be successful, but launching a game is always going to be a risk, isn't it? I mean, they say so in their own finance reports each year. Launching a game is obviously a risk. The gaming climate is tricky these days. I feel like you need to mitigate as many risks as possible. So what they will do is they won't just launch it. Like they won't just say, "Oh, it's going to be launched in 2 weeks." They'll give it a few months at the very least. So they'd either have to announce it immediately after dropping this update, which would steal away some headlines for this update, so I can't see that happening. Or they'd need to launch it, say, in a month's time and say, okay, it's going to be available early in the year. But it feels much more likely that they would use the platform of the Game Awards to launch a date. Even if they don't like have that kind of on stage thing like they managed to do last time, even if they just had their launch video at the Game Awards. I'm pretty sure, is it Jeff Keighley? I can't remember his first name. I'm pretty sure he would probably not even request that much money for, because I think he seems to have a pretty good relationship with Sean. And it does sound like not all game videos that they have at the Game Awards necessarily pay.
Axon Ignition says, this year, with GTA 6, I think it's a zero chance for LNF. Your LNF video was pretty good. I've penciled it in 2027.
Yeah, I that's when I think it will be maybe around about this time of year in 2027. Maybe summer, maybe earlier summer. I come to the wrong place. No, I haven't. This is very heavily protected. Could you come away from the door so I don't have to immediately get burnt to death just because I'm trying to go into the factory? Shoot this gun with my pea shooter while he's around the corner. Right. Alarms blare, sounding out against my intrusion. The facility is remotely operated. No one responds to the klaxon's call. The terminal indicates the facility was undertaking a specialised piece of research. Words I can't understand that would give me a clue. Terminal appears to be asking for manual confirmation of its experiment. I'm pretty sure there's more than one of these. I think continue or end. It's not insert carbon, I don't think. Okay. Or did I had two, didn't I? And I just, or did I have two? No. You get one or two, I believe.
Axon Ignition says, good call.
Might be one of those where more than one of them is a successful. Oh, I like that colour. See, why can't we have that colour? Why can't we change the colour of our chairs in building? That would be one. That would be an example of a small thing I'd punch the. See, look, that would have come at me. One thing I would punch the sky when I read it in a patch note. All items can now be recolored. Seems to be a bit confused. Yeah, I've got to wait.
Gravnaut says,
Hi, Gravnaut.
everyone. Sam Vines 9258 says, I would like
Yes,
the old primary colors back.
I absolutely agree.
Building parts.
What I would like to see with colours, I would like to see a bit like they gave us some extra colours for ships. They could theoretically give us extra colour palettes for building. So just give us extra palettes that we can choose from. That would be great. They could start off with the old primary colours. So just like something in the we could even do it in an expedition, but something in the Quicksilver Merchant.
Axon Ignition says, good morning Gravnaut, we were wondering if you'd finished the Pharaoh challenge.
Right, 3 more. Discoveries. That was uncommon underground. Nothing else is underground, so this could be a good place to get 3,000 nanites from.
Vimes 9258 says, and one standard color palette for all building parts.
Well, that's what I imagine. Imagine when you go into colour something. If we were given extra palettes, then we could. It would be across the board, so you could get a nice standard color palette that you could apply to anything, not just like this type of wall or that type of wall. It's just like something that you have to earn, maybe. But I mean, I'm all for them giving us cool things to earn, rather than just give it to us. I mean, we earn the colours for the freighter, we earn the colours for ships.
772 says, what if you had to
I wouldn't be all for that, no. You have a very good point. I take it all back, don't make it free fishing. Just give it to us. And for the record, I've never said that I actually don't mind fishing, and I've deleted the video where I said it, so there's no proof. I made it private so you couldn't see it anymore. What is going on? You made this happen, Ignition. Was it Ignition that said, what if you always get... I think I might have to reload just to stop it, because I think it's bugging out. Just land and reload. Stop this weird thing happening.
Brian 9772 says, okay. You'll have to earn it through garbage disposal.
Yes, that'd work. I wouldn't mind that, actually. I don't mind garbage disposal having reasonable thing. We need to come up with actually a good reason for garbage disposal to exist other than just getting nanites, but I can't think of anything obvious. So what could we actually make it useful for? Very nearly at the stage where I can get a oh look, there's some... I think this place is supposed to be aggressive sentinels.
772 says, I like the idea of a gacha machine that spit out appearance customizations for ships and multi-tools.
Why am I hearing another mech? It's like my game is just bugged and it's got mechs everywhere. I bet when I take off I get that mech thing again. Sentinel Walker.
Alphas195 says,
Garbage Guild.
11 Smile 9400.
I missed that one.
Says, I would be happy if they restored the colors back to the collectible glitches on their planets. Can't remember which update turned them black.
Restore collectible glitches on the planet. I'm not sure what you're referring to. So it didn't come up with the Sentinel thing. I just think I've got a weird bug going on though. I might have to log right out and log back in again. Right, so... So 11 Smiles 9402, welcome by the way. What do you mean? What are you referring to? What type of colours are you referring to there? See, I've also got that weird stop and start bug. This could sort it out. I'm not going to be in here though. I could just land here. Kill sentinels on this planet. Shut down sentinel forces. Still hear it. I'm going to have to log off because something very weird is happening. Let me just get these.
Axel Ignition says, don't talk about garbage, it was the grindiest thing I've done in any game. Finally found a flat cold planet in Calypso. Extreme Sentinel, extreme weather. But flat.
Yeah, finding a nice flat planet would be a good one for that. There must be another thing I can collect before I log off. The noise is really deafening as well.
Axel Ignition says, the Colossus has no weight.
I'm shooting the wrong thing. I'm just collecting everything now because when I log off and log back on again, I don't want to have. I want to redo the.
Brian
Get rid of Sentinels.
172 says, those underground creatures make a mechanical noise, believe it or not. Never knew if it was intentional or not.
No, I think that's a bug because I haven't heard that before.
What's that noise?
I have no idea what that is.
Big guy somewhere.
Sometimes you do get the walker under the planet. You have to dig him out. But he shouldn't even still be there because I just destroyed Sentinels, so it's clearly a bug.
Smile 9402 says, the Shard, Bubble, Blade ETC planets.
The way that they change the colours of the skies, do you mean? Or I'm still not 100% sure what you're referring to there. Oh, I didn't want to go back in straight away. I wanted to... Oh no, I did lock right in, didn't I? I did go right out of the game. Right, let's run around a bit and see if we can still hear it. We can hear that, but that's not the same. No, I'm not hearing anything now. So let's get rid of the Sentinels. Shut down Sentinel forces. I won't grab their things because that would be a bit save scummy. See, that underground creature is not now currently making a mechanical noise, if it is even a creature. Yes, it is a creature. I reckon it had the wrong noise. It picked up the wrong noise somehow. Because it did seem to be when I was close to them, as you were suggesting. Doesn't look like there's many other things out at night. Let's have a quick look in this, what's essentially a puddle. How many underground creatures do I have to... underwater creatures do I have to get? One rare underwater. It's probably going to be deep water. One uncommon underwater always active. I might be able to get that one. uncommon. No, I'll probably have to find some deep water for the other one. I can try the... I need to be a bit careful because I'm always killing myself in deep water. I don't want to do that in this save. Sometimes you can artificially make it deeper. See the predator. No, don't think I'm going to get it in this water. Right, so the ossified star. Oh, sorry, yes. I'll click that on the screen.
11 Smile 9402 says, the ossified star, light fissure, capillary shell, electric cube, they all changed to the black color on the planet. Though when you add them on your base they have the original color.
I see. I hadn't noticed they'd changed, I must admit, but then I don't go looking for them very often these days. I kind of moved on from building for a long while now. Right, so we need 2 more. Have I already done that? I haven't. I just haven't. Worth going there, perhaps. You never know with these things. They can be. I'm not going to bother. How many of the... Oh, I know what it is. It's automatically killing sentinels now. So if I do land here, they will... Or even if I just fly over. Then it will actually... finish both of these off, even though I haven't actually shot any. So it's asked me to go back to the return to mission agent. Over there. Which reminds me, I need to kill some creatures. I need to cull some creatures. Use the politically correct term. We're not going on a creature massacre. We're just going to cull some creatures. So just the one more needed, and then we can just focus on getting the modules. I suppose I could get another couple for the modules. But I quite like the idea of replacing a couple of the movement modules. So yeah, I mean, earlier on we saw Gravnot pop in. Are you still around, Gravnot? Did you? I'm hoping you didn't just start the whole challenge again just because I was saying about pre-buying. Unless you really wanted to, of course. Antimatter housing and carbon nanotube.
Gravnaut says, I am in the 5th iteration.
So you are doing it again. We'll have to come up with another challenge at some point. Just to make it more interesting. This is actually quite a nice planet if it wasn't for the Sentinels. It's a nice bit of foliage here. Grass is nice. Nice bit of floor cover.
Gravnaut says, Ignition's working on one of his own.
Where'd it go? Get that one. It should really be... Oh, I can't because I haven't got the right thing. Got that one. So what have we got left? We've got one rare ground, one common flyer, and one rare underwater. That'll be the rare ground. Looks like something big if it's that distance. No, it's not that big. And then we need to get the flyer and the underwater. Reacting a bit weirdly. Severe stutter then. Unfortunately, this isn't the best place to shoot creatures, unless I shoot fish, I suppose. Let's get a bit higher up, see what's the deepest of waters. Do over there. So I'm going to need a small island because I don't have the aqua landing things. That's not a small island. That looks like it is. The smallest of islands. It's the kind of island that you put a base computer on and just put one tree and a deck chair on. Straight away. Oh, I didn't get him though. He must be behind stuff. Oh, he's a nice one as well. Keep missing him. Why can't we hold on to the fin and ride them?
Life support power low.
That would be another small thing that I would love to see. Being able to ride, in inverted commas, underwater creatures, especially the sharks and cetaceans and things. Can't quite work out why I'm shooting fish. It's because, well, one, because I've got the creature log. Got cull creatures, and I need quite a few. I think it's 10 on that one and 15 on that one. But also because the creatures on this planet mostly seem to be kind of the weird creatures, which are really tough to kill sometimes. And also, because I love fishing, obviously.
Brian 9772 says, the glowing jellyfish that pop out of mined rocks also count towards creature kills.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, wondering. I wasn't sure, but I don't really need them. The critters in the critters in derelicts count as well. So presumably the floating jellyfish there count. Ten. Trouble is it switches you. 11. It's very murky under here. I'm shooting shadows. 14. Where's he gone? There we go. So we're well more than an hour in. I should maybe do my discussion before I get completely sweltering in here. So let's just go back to the space station first.
Technology recharged. Technology recharged. Technology recharged.
Get my rewards, and then we'll go to just chatting. So, question is, but save your answers. If Cosmos is all about space, what space would you like to see in this space game? What would you like to see from Cosmos if it's all about space? What space stuff? Let me just grab these and then I'll go into just chatting and we'll talk about it. Yes, I did. I thought I got an expansion slot out of that. So let's put that in while I remember. And I will put that up here too. Actually, I'll put that over here. So save. So, I mean, we've got the name Cosmos. I think most of us are expecting some form of space-related stuff from it. I think that's the most logical. I know there's all sorts of other things that it could mean. I know, for instance, it could be about order. It could be about the Void Mother. But I think the most natural thing would be space. So, what would we like to see in space? Now, I did put a poll out as well. Let's see what the poll... Let's see how our poll is doing. Posts. So let's put that on screen as well. Can we just end the poll there? Okay, so if No Man's Sky Cosmos is a space-focused game, what kind of things would you like to see? I gave a few examples, but other in comments. Static points of interest in space, minables, orbital stations, wrecks, things that are just literally there, as opposed to we have to find them when we're traveling into using the anomaly detectors. Claimable space stations, we're building an economy aspects, rework freighters and frigates, other in comments. So it looks like claimable space stations with building and economy aspects is unsurprisingly a pretty popular option. I know a lot of people like the idea.
Yeah, claimable space stations for sure.
I mean, I know I keep putting the other option that I feel like that could become a bit of a problem for the game. But it just seems to be really, really popular. So I don't know, maybe if they did it correctly, if they put some thought into it. I don't like the idea of somebody going to a system that's been discovered and finding out that the space station is somehow completely different and belongs to somebody. But if they did it carefully with, like for instance, only chose certain types of stations.
One owned space station. 2 bigger freighter battles.
Bigger freighter battles would be
3
good.
interstellar bounty hunters.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. Space combat could do with an overhaul. It's feeling a little bit stale now. 11 Smile says all of the above, or fair enough. Sam Vine's asteroid bases question mark. So, I mean, I'm saying for claimable space station. No, I'm not. I'm kind of. I didn't specify, but I kind of see static POIs in space. I think that could count for places you could also build. That would be nice. But unfortunately, you can only put 3 options nowadays. That's slightly too long for the auto thing.
1772 says, I'm not sure how to answer this. I think the static POI sounds a lot cooler, but it sounds a lot less likely because it would be a lot more work for HG to do.
I'm not convinced it would be particularly difficult for them to do. I mean, we do have static points of interest. For instance, a space station is static, and the asteroid fields are static.
Feeling it's a Atlas reset, something big.
The asteroid fields are static, but they only spawn when you approach them, so they're slightly different. But if, like for instance, if there's an asteroid field to the back and right of the space station, or to the left of the space station, or there's usually an asteroid field somewhere around the space station. In that system, it will always be in the same place.
But it's equally unlikely, cause they won't want to change the game dramatically at this point.
I don't think it's an Atlas reset. I just don't see them. As you say, it's unlikely. I mean, they could change the game dramatically in other ways without having to rely on some kind of upset, some kind of complete reset.
Brian 9772 says, well, Sean said the team still wants to do big things.
Yeah.
Ignition says, it's the tubers hyping it up. LOL.
I mean, at the end of the year, I think let's just go to for some reason that is my, how do you go to, for some reason Galactic Atlas is my default No Man's Sky at the moment. It seems to change. If we go to news, I think it would have been, no, swarms, it might have been. It would have been the end of the year. Holiday expeditions. No, that's just a patch. Holiday Expeditions. There we go. 2025. So at the end of the year, they said this has been an inspiring and exciting year for No Man's Sky, and we already have so much more content planned and in active development. We can't wait to share it with you. And in recent interviews, it sounds like it's going to be a big one. Have you got a specific quote for still wants to do big things? Is that what from one of the articles recently? I mean, I'm sure they do. I've got no doubt that they still have things they want to do. It's YouTubers hyping it up. Well, that's what we do. That's, you know, we want to talk about things. We want to make content. I do think it will be big, and I do think it'll be mostly space stuff. And it's a really common thing to hear people say on Reddit. They'll say, "When will we get more space in our space game?" And although it's a little bit
Brian
of a conceit to say that,
172 says, I can't remember which update that quote was from.
I mean, I don't think it's an unlikely thing for them to have said recently. And I do feel like they've had so much focus on planets, like worlds, about building different biomes, and Worlds 2 about purple systems, and it was purple system for that one, wasn't it? And more assets on planets. It was all very planet-based.
Brian's right. I remember reading that too. I think it was Remnant with the physics.
Remnant with the physics. Okay, let's have a look. Hang on, did I... So if we go to the release log, they didn't really say anything there. Yeah, it doesn't really say anything there. I mean, they have already done more with it in that they included it in the Swarm.
Axon Ignition says, it was the video of him in the studio.
Okay, well, I'm not going to go and find a video, so that's fair enough. 15 votes. I'll possibly just leave that poll running. If people aren't sure, they can always go and put some other things in there later. If they suddenly think, actually, that would be a really cool thing for space, you can always add it in the comments on there. I'll leave it running.
Axon Ignition says, it could have been Sean being Sean.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got Corvettes, and we got the ability to spacewalk, but we don't really seem to have an awful lot of things we can do with spacewalking. For example, it would be nice to be able to, say, settle on a large asteroid, actually have some kind of microgravity on a large asteroid, or maybe use special boots to cling on to those things. It would be nice to be able to place technology Like, for instance, a little bit like I was doing with the sodium earlier, place some kind of technology on it.
Ryan 9772 says, yeah, you're right. Spacewalking opens up a lot of possibilities for space encounters.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, I spent quite a lot of a stream just going to all of the points of interest that we get from the anomaly detectors and just spacewalking to them and seeing the kind of scale of them and getting a better appreciation for their scale based on where my character was. But it would be much cooler if there were things we could walk to that were always there that we could actually have as part of the game. But I can't think of much apart from mining them and maybe like Rex exploring them. I can't think of many things and building bases, I suppose. I can't think of many other things that you could do with that kind of point of interest. But I have said before, it would be nice to have buildable space stations where we can actually have maybe we could build a Corvette docking station for putting all of our Corvettes in at once, or maybe just use it as some kind of shipyard so we could build there, so we don't have to build in space stations. There could be other possibilities for that, and also it would be nice if we, instead of having claimable space stations, what if we could build space stations? And then we could put what we wanted in those space stations and they wouldn't have to be taking over a point of interest from somebody else. Get the last of my coffee. The I mean, buildable space stations could be cool. There are a number of things we could potentially use them for. Um, I mean, you think of something like Star Trek and being able to kind of go to a docking yard and have. I know people have built like docking yards that are kind of orbital stations for their Corvettes, but to have one set up in space that we could fly to, we could have our Corvettes actually parked there. Maybe we could have a docking space for our freighter on them, or maybe our frigates could go in. That's another one. NPCs on frigates. When are we going to get NPCs on frigates? They're just like ghost ships. I'd really love to be able to go to a frigate and have a reason to go there other than just fixing them. Maybe travel with them. Maybe frigates could actually be something we could use.
Oman, a shipyard in space, Utopia Planitia of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Gravnaut says, HG is enslaving us to be their brain tank. Drop one little emoji or one word and then sit back and glean all the possible ways in which HG could develop for the future.
Well, yeah, they've been doing that for years, haven't they? They've got one thing in mind for this update, but then we're sitting here giving them like 20 or 30 more things they could potentially do. I'm sure they've considered some of these things, though. It's not like they're completely clueless.
772 says, even just having other players' space stations appear on the galaxy map would be a huge for me.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Says, Pharaoh is their secret.
Yeah, I'm a plant. Plant me into the content creation space. Yeah, I've always felt like going to frigates is like hollow gameplay.
Says, employee code HG007.
I mean, let's go and look at a frigate, for instance, because I feel like they. If I go into my normal game. This coffee is strong. I don't know why I've got the golden vector out at the
I
moment.
have a more interesting question. Whatever they introduce, how will it fit into the game? I mean garbage / fishing etc are standalone activities. You can choose to do / not do.
Yeah, but if you think about it, those kinds of updates are often the like secondary updates. So if you look at things like Xeno Arena, even garbage collection, fishing, um, fossil collecting, they've usually been kind of like the minor updates along the way, and so they're just like little toys dropped in for us to interact with and play with. But the major updates are usually more interactive and part of the core game in some way or other. What was I coming to do? I was coming to look at my frigate, so I need to go and find my freighter. I don't know if my freighter's parked somewhere useful, so I'll have to go to it rather than call it in. That would be another small thing that I would love to see. Could we just have the doors not shut on me? Like an NPC will walk past them. They're so inconsistent as well, look. So they work fine if you just walk up to a closed one. But if an NPC walks past them and they start shutting, then they close on you as you're walking through them. It doesn't seem that hard to fix. They've said they've fixed that kind of thing a number of times, but they never seem to get around to it. I can go to the frigates without coming out, can't I? And just teleport to them. Right, so first off, we get this interaction, but it's such a minimum interaction. Captain Entity, welcome. Our weapons systems are armed. Our fighters ready to scramble. We're at your command. Salute. And then there's nothing else. We go to the other ones. The mining one will give us some resources, but pretty minor resources. The economic one will give us some cash. And the explorer one will allow us to scan for a point of interest on planets. But what if we could come here and there were crews on board, and the rooms that we walked into actually had a purpose? There's not even a room up here, is there? I don't think fighters have got a lot of space in them. Maybe come to the wrong type, but I think we can go downstairs. That's just crossing across. When they spent all of this time building these environments, and we come to them for a brief while in the early stages when we first have freighter fleets to fix these terminals, and that's the only reason we ever come here. Just seems a bit of a waste, really. I mean, some of them have interiors. This one doesn't appear to have interiors. Go to one we know has interiors. So exploration should have. Or does that just have the large? No, that has interior, that's fine. See, these feel a bit like the old freighters, the old freighter parts. But it wouldn't be cool if we came in here and there were NPCs walking around. There was maybe a captain sitting somewhere we could interact with, maybe get a mission from. Maybe we could send him off on a specific type of mission that he could do that's separate to frigate expeditions. It would just make these things feel a bit more alive. Why can't we get the carbon from these, for instance? These are just dead, abandoned places. And they feel like a lost opportunity. Or a missed opportunity. So yeah, that's one thing I'd like to see in space. Some better use for frigates. I mean, yeah, we have the frigate guys walking around. He's a squadron pilot. He's a squadron pilot. Finding them might be tricky. He's an oiler. Squadron pilot. Don't know where the NPCs are all hiding. Yeah, so he's a frigate captain. So why isn't he on the frigate? I mean, I understand that they want to have these guys populating our freighter, and it's nice that they do. But when we teleport to our frigate, they could come with us. They could teleport there too. And they could actually give us more interaction, more possibility for space encounters stuff. So yeah, that's my wish. I've had that wish for years now. Anything else that we haven't thought of, or I haven't thought of, that is kind of in the back of your head is like, I've always wanted this? I still swear blind that the I can't even see it. That these things, these platforms. Oops. I still think these are temporary. I don't believe that this is the permanent solution for parking our Corvettes. It doesn't make any sense to me that this would be the main way to have our ships in our freighters. Barrier there. Probably because I confused the build system by flying in from the side. Oh, I completely logged out. To be honest, it's getting so hot here, I may call it a day now. We've had the discussion. I've played for about an hour and a half, and I'm getting swelteringly hot in this high up room with my lights on, and no more cold drinks to drink. So I think I might call it a day. So thanks very much for the discussion, and thanks very much for joining me in my little journey today. I've been Pharaoh. Travel well, and goodbye for now.
Gravnaut says, thanks.
Thanks, Gravnaut.
Brian 9772
Thanks, Brian.
says,
I'm just
"Thanks
reaching
for
for the
listening, Pharaoh."
end broadcast button. Hang on.